Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm doing an alien deck profile, and that has been a while since I actually did an alien deck profile, and they just got a really cool new Link monster in the form of Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame, which is a really neat card that helps us play around with the actual A counters a little bit better in this deck, which is really cool. So without further ado guys, let's get straight into this. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description guys, because we have some really cool rewards for anybody who becomes a patron, like getting a free sign or getting a signed card, getting a deck profile of your choice every single month, or getting your name included in the description of every single Dark Armed Duelist video. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Alien Shock Trooper. So the Alien Shock Trooper is a really cool card that's just basically a vanilla, but you can special summon it out of your deck so many different ways. And so the deck kind of focuses around the Alien Shock Trooper as a kind of like the big beat stick of the deck that really focuses around the deck to be able to get it out on the field with stuff like Unexpected Die, Rescue Rabbit, and all sorts of different other cards in the deck, which is really helpful. Then we play 2 copies of the Alien Overlord. Alien Overlord is a really neat card that lets you remove 2 A counters from anywhere on the field to special summon this card from your hand, and then once per turn you can place 1 A counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls, and if a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack and defense for each A counter during the damage calculation only, and you can only use 1 Alien Overlord. You can only control 1 Alien Overlord. So that's why I only played it 2, is because if you play it at any more than 2, you're liable to risk drawing into multiple copies of it. So 2 is just fine for this card, but it is a really good generator for our copies of the A counters on cards. Then we play just 2 copies of Alien Warrior. The Alien Warriors are really good, but when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can place 2 A counters on a monster that destroyed it. And then it has the ability, all the aliens share the ability, they just included all their text about the A counters and the 300 attack and defense for each counter that it has on it. We play 1 copy of Alien Kid. When Alien Kid is, you can place an A counter on all special summon monster your opponent controls, which is a really cool effect to be able to just tag them all with your A counters, which is really neat. We play 3 copies of Alien Dog. The Alien Dog is probably one of the better cards in the deck, because what you do with this card is when it's normal summoned, and when you normal summon an alien monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and when you do, you get to place 2 A counters on face-up monsters your opponent controls, which is really cool to be able to just tag them with the A counters, which is really nice. We play one of my tech cards in the deck. I don't see a lot of people playing this card, but I really think it's a good card that's really underrated to me, and that is a single copy of Alien Mars. So Alien Mars is a good card to me because it has the ability that the effects of effect monsters that have A counters on them are negated, except for Alien Mars, which is really good because you can tag all the monsters your opponent controls with A counters, have this card on the field, or special summon it with something that you have in your deck, and then instantly put this card on the field, and then it just negates all those effects, which is really neat to be able to just negate all the effects that your opponent has on the field. I really like this card as a one-of. I probably would never play it any more than 1, but it's a good one-of to just negate card effects. It's like walking skill drain, and I really like that. Or with those kind of legs, it's more like slithering skill drain. Then we play 3 copies of Alien Ammonite. Ammonite is really good because when it's normal summoned, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower alien monster from your graveyard, but destroyed during end phase. You usually use this for link fodder to go into your Shock Trooper, but you also have the ability to go into your Cosmic Fortress Golgoroth, or Golgoroth, or whatever you want to say. Golgoroth, it just makes me think of the Destiny 2 boss in King's Fall, like the raid boss, Golgoroth. If you guys haven't seen that, you really should look that up. It's really cool. Shout out to anybody who likes Destiny out there, because this deck really reminds me of the Hive. Then we play 3 copies of Kage Tokage. Kage Tokage is really cool because when you normal summon a monster, you can special summon that's level 4. You can special summon this card from your hand, which is really cool because you can go into stuff like, you can even link it away for your Shock Trooper, or overlay it for Utopia Double, or go in for something like your copy of King of the Feral Imps, or whatever you really need for this card, but you can't Synchro summon with it, which is not that big of a deal because we only play like 2 Synchro monsters in the entire extra deck. We play 2 copies of Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit's good as a 2-up. I don't think 3, I think 3 is a little overkill with the Unexpected Dies that we play in this deck. You're gonna sometimes run into moments where this card is dead, so playing like 2 is just fine. I feel like I wouldn't play it any more than 2 in this deck. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. The Ash Blossoms come in handy because it just stops your opponent from doing all sorts of shenanigans, which is really cool. Now, another notable card that you can play in here if you're playing against decks that have back row is you can change out the Alien Mars for a copy of Alien Telepath. Just if you feel like you need another level 4 and you don't want to play this card, you can change it out for Alien Telepath and it pops spells and traps, which is another option for you guys if you want to go that route instead. You can go for more of a rank 4 build instead of like a kind of link-based build, which is kind of more of what I'm going for. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave, because you need the 3 copies of Call by the Grave. They're really good in the deck, and you really just need them for stopping your opponent's hand traps and stuff like that. They're really pivotal to just getting your monsters out and stuff like that, so it's a really good 3 of. 1 copy of Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing really helps out because you can make Utopia double, swing at your opponent for 10,000 and win games. Just steal games from your opponent. 2 copies of Unexpected Die. If you draw this, it's basically like a free Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame because you're just going to normal summon one of your reptiles. Like if you draw either Kage to Kage or Unexpected Die or your copy of Rescue Rabbit, like you have like it's like 7 copies of cards in the deck. It's a first turn Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame, which is really important to get out on the first turn. You usually want to go second in this deck because it puts a bunch of A counters on monsters your opponent controls, which is something that's really pivotal to this deck. 2 copies of Code A Ancient Ruins. Code A Ancient Ruins is a really good card, but it's just, in my opinion, a 2 of. I see some people playing this as a 3 of, but when I play tested it at 3, it bricked. So each time a face-up alien monster is destroyed, you place a counter on a card, and then once per turn you can remove 2 A counters from anywhere on the field to special summon an alien monster from your graveyard. Great effect, just a 2 of, in my opinion, because if you draw more than 2 of it, you're in a really bad place because you're not drawing your combo pieces. This is a good card, but it's a good 2 of. Then we play 3 copies of Mysterious Triangle. Mysterious Triangle is neat because it's an instant pop of a card. I really like that because it lets you destroy a monster on the field with an A counter, and then you can special summon a level 4 alien from your deck, but destroy during the end phase, which is not that big of a deal because you're just going to special summon it and usually link it away or synchro summon it away or do whatever you need to do with it. And then we have the newest card to the alien archetype, and that is 3 copies of a cell combination device, which is really cool. I really like that it actually gave Alien support and Invasion Vengeance. It's an older card. It's like 3 or 4 years old, but it's the newest alien card besides Alien Shock Trooper. Basically what this card does is you can target a face-up monster on the field and send an alien monster from your deck to the grave. And if you do, you place A counters on that monster equal to the level of the sent monster, and during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add an alien monster from your deck to your hand. So it's not only a searcher, but it's a Foolish Burial and a searcher. It kind of reminds me of the cycle of the in the Tinny deck. If you guys have seen the cycle of the Dragon Disciple or whatever it is, the card that's a Foolish Burial and a searcher at the same time. It really reminds me of that. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So we have a really good win condition trap that we can play in this deck, and that is 3 copies of Mass Hypnosis. So I know this card, like, you're going to look at this card and go, whoa, wait a minute. That's like a lot of those. But this card is my win condition, in my opinion. It gets me an OTK, it gets me exactly what I need, and you flip this card on your opponent and they have up to 3 monsters on the field, and you're going to take all 3, which is just, like, it's an all or nothing card, which is really cool. You activate this card while you control an alien monster, and you select and take control of up to 3 monsters your opponent controls with the same, that each have an A counter on them, and this card is destroyed during the end phase of the turn it's activated. So you have to, like, OTK them the same turn that you activate this card. It's a good 3 of because the M-Frame puts, I know I keep coming back to this card, but this card's kind of like the way the deck works. But basically the M-Frame puts A counters on all monsters your opponent controls. You set this, and then you go after them the next turn by flipping this, taking all their monsters, and then OTKing them, is essentially the way it works. It's a little bit slow of a card, but it really can, like, destroy an opponent's field, which is really cool to be able to just take all their monsters on your side of the field, or up to 3 of them, and then attack them with their own monsters and win, which is kind of like the whole gimmick of the deck, is turning their monsters against them through brainwashing, which is cool. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame. This card's a really neat card because basically it takes 2 reptiles to make it, and then you quick effect can discard a monster and then place A counters on the monsters your opponent controls equal to the level of the monster that was discarded, which we have, the highest level that we have in the deck is the Alien Overlord, which I believe is a level 6 monster, which you can put up to 6 A counters on different monsters that your opponent controls. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon non-reptile monsters with different names up from your graveyard up to the number of monsters your opponent controls with A counters on them. So they have 5 monsters that destroy this by battle or by card effect. They have 5 monsters on the field. You just special summon 5 aliens from your graveyard if they all have A counters on them, which is super cool. 2 copies of the Cosmic Fortress Synchro monster. This card's really good because once per turn you can select any number of face-up spell traps and return them to the owner's hand. And then you get to distribute new A counters among monsters on the field equal to the number of cards returned. And then once per turn you can remove 2 A counters from anywhere on the field and destroy a card your opponent controls, which is really cool to be able to just pop something in your opponent's side of the field. 1 copy of Trishula. Trishula is really easy to go into in this deck because all you have to do is have 2 level 4s on the field. It's super easy to go into because, like, if you normal summon, like, if you open up something like a copy of Unexpected Die, or later in the game, you're usually not going to go into Trishula right off the bat anyways in the majority decks. But if you have, like, let's just say, an Unexpected Die, a copy of Alien Ammonite, and a copy of Shock Trooper in the graveyard. Let's just say you have Shock Trooper in the graveyard and a Shock Trooper in deck. You activate the Unexpected Die, special summon this, activate or normal summon the Alien Ammonite, special summon this, and then you synchro this together, which is 9, and then you make your copy of Trishula, which is really, really great because it just rips so many cards out of your opponent, which is a really good overall card. You really need to play this card as a one-of in this deck. It's really, really good. Then we play a single copy of Mech Knight Crusader Avermax, which just helps us OTK our opponent just a little bit more. Unicorn because it helps us bounce monsters on the field, or bounce cards. Phoenix because it helps us bounce or pop spells and traps. 1 copy of Relinquished Anima, which is a really good card in this deck because if they somehow, like, just say, I know it's weird, people don't play it that much anymore, but let's just say that they hit your Alien Ammonite with a copy of, let's just say, Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence or something like that. But they hit it and they make it so you can't special summon back because they know you're going for M-Frame or Cosmic Fortress. You just link it away for this and steal an opponent's monster, which is really good. And then this card gains attack equal to that monster that you stole, which is really good to be able to do. Then we play a King of the Feral Imps for the XYZs. We're getting into those. King of the Feral Imps because it searches reptiles. Utopia and Utopia Double because it attacks for 10,000, and that's a really good effect. Exciton Knight because it blows board, because sometimes you just get overwhelmed and you need to blow board. Baguska to stall out your opponent just a little bit, and a single copy of Abyss Dweller because it negates graveyard effects, which is really cool. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really fun deck. It's really easy to go into the Alien Shock Trooper in this deck because basically all you're going to do is put 2 aliens on the field. And basically if you have so many options for this, like you can go with this and normal summon an alien and then go into that. You have your copy of Rescue Rabbit. You have Kage Tokage. You have both of these. If you draw either of these, you've got it. Or if you also draw a copy of your Unexpected Die and an alien monster, you have it as well. So you're playing a bunch of cards in the deck to be able to go into this card, and this card's the pivotal card of the deck, which basically makes the whole deck work. If you normal summon an alien, you special summon this, and you open up any alien in the deck and you summon this, or these 2, normal summon this, summon the 2 Shock Troopers, or normal summon an alien and then activate the Unexpected Die. Basically this deck just swarms the field, which is really cool, but it's a really fun deck, and it's, in my opinion, pretty budget. Like, the extra deck is a little bit out there, but you really just need those 5 cards, like the 2 Shock Troopers, the 2 Cosmic Fortresses. You can even get away with 1 Cosmic Fortress, and the one of King of the Feral Imps, and the rest of the deck is kind of like up to you, but it works. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and definitely check out that Patreon down in the description for those really cool rewards, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.